To think about with Dale Happy Knowles. What we think, we become. What we radiate, we attract. What we imagine, we surely can achieve. Let's change the narrative 242.
Welcome to Something to Think About with Dale Happy Knowles and our friends around the world on the 242. Tell us where you at and what you're thinking, what you want to get from this episode. And we'll go from strength to strength and answer any questions that you got that is laudable. Because we got some fine ladies can be on the show tonight. You know? Yeah, they got some pearls and some things like that. So, anyway, let me don't hold up the show. Oh, that one missing. But let me just introduce one or two of them right now. So we have Miss Wendy Poitier on with us.
Hello.
And we'll be joined by Mavis Johnson Collie shortly. I saw her pop in and then she popped out. I don't know where she went. So how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Well, it's just a little bit of rain. I think Melissa is acting up. I know she is. But her little effects are coming this far north. But I know she's having some devastating effects there in Jamaica. And of course, we pray for them and for our brothers and sisters who are in our southern islands. They're expected to, I guess, feel it coming in tomorrow, eh? I think that's what they said.
Yeah. Probably tomorrow on, Wednesday, tomorrow's Wednesday.
Yeah.
So hopefully the Jamaica and Cuba mountains knock it down Cuba. So much because we can't take that rain what I see and happening in overseas.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. In Jamaica and our friends. Yeah. Cool. Welcome, Mavis. How you doing?
I'm good in yourself, Happy. I'm good in yourself.
Good. I think you might need to adjust your camera a little bit. You're getting your clothes more than you. You know, people must see your fine face.
Oh, where do I see?
Yeah, you a little bit up more.
Maybe if you put it on a book or something, put your thing on
the thing is I can't see.
okay.
What I'm looking like. I can't see at all. I don't know if it's something to do with how I have my camera.
Yeah.
I cannot see at all what this looks like.
So you can't see any of us on the show?
I can see y'all, but I can't see. The only thing for me is a background, like a step and repeat background where my name is.
Wow. Well, we can see you, so we don't know what's happening
see you there. Clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can see the back camera because I did right. That. Okay.
Yeah. That's not what we want. We want you.
Okay, there you go.
See all the pearly whites. Or the ivory whites. Cool. So tonight we're going to celebrate legacy, excellence, and service to all mankind as we welcome, like we said, Mavis and Wendy to the show. And so we will be talking about the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. That's where these ladies lean from. And the Island Jewels of New Providence. That's a new organization?
No, it's a group that is in process for chartering.
Okay.
So as you get into the discussion, we learn a little bit more about the sorority. As the organization gets ready to charter a group, they call them, and once they are formally recognized by the international organization, they call them an interest group, and then the interest group gets to choose the name that it wants until it gets the Greek letters. Then it officially becomes a chapter. So we are the Island Jewels of New Providence, an official interest group of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority.
I remember when step show and things like that, and then tight leg, and all the other things shaking up and down.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to UM.
Yeah, okay.
But you know me, I was all over the place. Houston, New York.
Yeah, I'm not a big stepper, or I stay more in the background when it comes to that part of the
You've been to school in
experience.
London, England, eh? You went to?
No,
No? You didn't? Okay, cool.
upstate
So
New York.
tell us a little bit about the two of you all, so and the organization, so that people will know the baseline as to which
I'll defer to my
drives you
senior.
all. Yeah.
Listen here, being her being modest, and she knows she is the senior woman. But anyway,
All right, one of y'all got an echo.
well, me and you, happy, me and you go back from Queen's College days, Comet days. But since then, I became a member of the organization. I joined. This is over 40 years now, since 1983. And I joined while I was in university in the United States, in Kentucky. Came home and continued on with the work of the organization. And so I've been a member, like I said, financial and active. Well, not all the time active, because sometimes you have to take a little break. But for the most part, financial. But about 2 or 3 years ago, we, I guess the discussion had been going on for a while. And it was like, I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done here in our country. And so we said, hey, we're going to get together and we're going to see if we can form another chapter. We already have 3 chapters right now. We have one in Grand Bahama. We have one, of course, that is here in New Providence. And then we have one that is at the university. That's our undergraduates.
Right.
But we felt that there was a need to have another grouping here in New Providence. Because as we always say, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. And we felt that we would be able to make an impact. And we chose the eastern end of the island as our impact area. And so that is where we have been working now for about the past 2 years with the Island Jewels group. And of course, this has always been a special interest for me because of my, the idea, my philosophy in life,
Right.
of course, is about service. If I can help somebody along the way, then my living will not be in vain. And so I've always been a person who has felt that there's a need to help others, those who are in distress, those who need assistance. You try your best to see if you can assist persons to help build up as opposed to tearing down. And so that's what I've been trying to do. I'm not also only involved with the sorority, but of course, I'm with the Alzheimer's Association, and also with my church, working with that. And, other things that would find your interest. But for the most part, I've been working here with the sorority, and as we try to, again, make that important impact and to give to the country, not only
Right.
to the eastern end, but to the country as a whole.
Cool. You, Mavis?
Oh, okay. So a bit about me. I'll do a little bit about me, then I'll put the whole sorority thing in context. So, like Wendy, I've been in the organization for quite a bit. I'm what they call a life member, a silver star. I joined during my undergraduate studies at New York State University, SUNY Brockport. I think I joined in 1982. So I am heading towards what we call the golden soror status. And, I joined, like Wendy, because I've always been involved, even before I went off to college, I've been involved in community work, community service. I've served on the Girls Brigade Council after being a member through the ranks of the Girls Brigade. I've been involved with the infant stimulation program. I've been involved in churches wherever I have been planted. I've been serving in my church in leadership roles from I know myself, right? I was teaching Sunday school at age 13. Whatever club was available on high school, I was in it, doing what I felt I could do to assist those around me. So I joined a sorority, came back the next year, I think I graduated, came back to Nassau, and at the time I was with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, and there was a young lady there by the name of Linda Higgs Swan, who invited me out to, we worked together, and she invited me, come to meeting. Being the first one in your family to go on to college, the first one to join these kinds of things after being warned not to join, because during those turbulent times, the news that was hitting hardest was some of the negative stuff. And so people, don't you dare go and don't watch. One of my girlfriends now, she's now the secretary of the cabinet. Don't you dare do that stuff. Oh man. But anyway, suffice it to say, the organization has been great to me. The very year I joined, later that year I became president of the chapter that I joined. And the way the structure is set up, we have graduate chapters, and those are made up of members who have already completed college, and then we have undergraduate chapters. And so I served in the first graduate chapter in the Bahamas. I served in that chapter for more than 30-something years. We have two currently.
You say almost 40 years, say David. I would say more than 30, almost 40 years.
Yes, yeah, because
I would say
I
40
was
years.
only 2 years into the organization when I graduated. So yeah, close to 40 years. Several times as president, serving in key executive positions in the chapter. And then, Wendy and I both, it's probably not far-fetched that both of us will be on this show tonight, but Wendy and I both were very instrumental in aiding with the formal establishment, or at the very least bringing attention to the needs of our international region. So let me pause and put it in context for you. So our organization is an international body, right, with some 300,000 plus members in 15 countries across the globe. It wasn't always like that. Of course, it was predominantly up until like the 50s, predominantly, up until then, it was an organization on the mainland US. They chartered their first chapter outside of the country in Liberia. Due to civil unrest, that chapter became inactive for a period. The second chapter to be established was established here in the Bahamas under the leadership of a lady who I ended up being under in high school, Cleveland Aeneas's wife, Dr. Cleveland Aeneas's wife, Muriel Aeneas. So she is one of the key charter members for the first graduate chapter here in the country. And so anyway, so to cut a long story short, so we've got these chapters sprinkled throughout the world. We got about, go back with me in time, we've got about 4 chapters in the region. We've got members in these countries outside. They're coming to conferences. They're beginning to come to conferences. I think the first time our chapter was
that would have been like in the early 80s.
Was when I went, myself and Linda, we went to DC, and Judith, former president of the chapter, Judith Smith, went to Washington, DC for a conference, 1984. We'd gone to some regional conferences in the 80s, but the official representation by our chapter at the international big meeting was in 84. So we are fighting now for status. Hey, we paying all the dues like everybody else. We flying all over the place. We want y'all, it's your protest. equality for us, we want
No
we want
taxation
our
without
time in the
representation.
shade, right, Wendy? In fact, Wendy, I told international secretary the other night, I said, I am looking for, because I would have had them, I don't know where they are. I am looking for the minutes of our international convention for 84 and 86, because I know at the time you could speak from the floor. We were not as restrictive. Right now you're not a delegate, so you can't. So
Yeah.
we were able to speak. They heard us and they heard our cry, and then they started. For example, one of the obligations is that all of the standing committees must have representation from all regions. At the time, there were 9 regions, right? And so we were like, well, we are regions, so
Yeah.
we need to
So
be on these
you had to
committees.
fight.
Yeah.
How to fight.
Fight. Yeah. Oops.
We look like
The
we lost
one
her.
president came in and set up a commission to look into all that was going on with the organization, what was wrong, what was right, what was good, what we needed to change. And lo and behold, I was appointed to that commission. And so today we refer to our organization as international. We refer to our president as international. We have 10 regions, and all of our standing committees have members from the international region serving. And that was because of some of the work that I did. And then just a short 2 years later, Wendy then started as well. She became members of some of our committees, and she likewise carried on the push for continued inclusion to where we are today. We just chartered the 20th chapter of the international region in Puerto Rico. The 19th was in London. The 21st will be in Ghana. And by God's grace, guidance, divine intervention, blessings on my head, calmness in my heart, peace in my soul.
Poet.
Come,
Yeah.
come the 22nd. If I don't leave them before, I'm happy.
You ain't even nowhere. The people ain't
So
finished
that's
with you
the
yet.
journey that we are on. My AKA journey has been a momentous occasion. I became the first, they say if you don't touch your own, nobody else will, right? I became the first chairman of a committee appointed officially from the international region, serving under the 29th international president a couple terms ago. I continue to be on various either international or regional committees.
Cool. So you could see people that these ladies got a wealth of depth to them, and so forth. And so we don't want to tie up the whole show trying to regurgitate all of the things they did, because then they will be the honorees. And so we have 7 people that they're honoring that we want to touch into. But before we get into that, let's just look at what the quote on the screen says, that the hands that built, the hearts that gave, and the light that still guides us from the east to the world. Legacy ain't just what we leave behind. It's what we carry forward together. So the question is, when you hear these words, what comes to mind? Who or what do you see in that picture?
Well, of course, when we talk about building and shedding the light, of course, we think about persons who would have helped to build our country, who would have helped to, especially after we look as we came out of independence, okay, or even after a majority rule. And of course, I'm a little history buff, so I like to always reference that. Because of course, if you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going, eh?
Yep.
And so we have those persons who would have helped to build our nation and to guide our light. And so if you're talking about it in relation to a group of persons who we have as honorees, we look at people like Reverend Sabrina Pinder, and especially her work in Reverend Pinder and her husband Carrington Pinder in the Fox Hill area. You know, they have been persons who have helped to build that community. It is a historic community, yes, but because of their work within that area, we know of the things that they've helped to shine that light into that area in particular, and of course within the rest of the country. We look at persons like Reverend Kenris Carey. She is one of those with the Methodist Church in the fight for autonomy with the Bahamas Conference of the Methodist Church. She has helped to build that conference. She was the president of the conference, first female president of a major religious conference or major denominational conference here in the Bahamas. Again, building, guiding the light. And of course, she has done so many things, Reverend Dr. Kenris Carey, and helping with not only building in the eastern area, but with the Bahamas Methodist Conference in particular, and other areas as well, providing service, giving to communities, helping to build the churches as well. So, you know, we know that she is one of those who has left a legacy, a lasting legacy, and continues to leave. Even in her 90s, she is now, but she is still providing and giving service, still going strong. Okay. And of course, people like Arlene Nash Ferguson in the area of culture. Oh my goodness, what could we say? The Queen of Junkanoo, is that what she is?
Yeah,
That's what they call her. So, these types of individuals, when we talk about their hands, heart, and providing the light to guide us as we go forward, and that long-lasting legacy that they have provided for our country. I'll let Mavis go on and talk a little bit more. I don't want to talk too much.
And what I like about the persons that have been selected, nominated, and then elected, as I look at your quote, these are for the most part trailblazers, barrier breakers. When you think of, I'll jump in where Wendy's left off. Wendy mentioned Arlene Nash Ferguson. As a female, she broke ranks with Junkanoo in becoming a pivotal force within her Junkanoo group first, and then to take it further and established a museum hands-on experience that brings visitors and patrons into the Junkanoo experience 5 days a week.
Education and Junkanoo Cross.
Educating, and I think other than Barabbas, I don't think there's even another person, much less another male or female, who has branched out like that. Right, and of course, she's taken the streets of Junkanoo by storm when she gets out and does her thing. Sandra Patterson, this woman has been around in the advocating for women's rights generally, but advocating for laws that would at least cause there to be some second thought about committing violence against women. She has been about this work from I was in high school, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, and she is still, I look at her sometimes and you can see the wariness, but she's not stopping. And I think that all this well, that says a lot for the passion that she carries in her heart for the work that she is doing. Not so much for the legacy, but to carry it forward, and hopefully she leaves. We know that she's leaving a legacy, but hopefully she there's somebody who will pick it up after she is gone, because she's done tremendous work in that area, dealing with gender violence. I mean, when I think about the various aspects of the sexual offenses legislation or related legislation, I remember through the Women's Bureau working with a Sandra Patterson in the drafting and in the vetting and in the educating and in the awareness campaigns for these various pieces of legislation. She has been around, like I said, from I can remember. I became a part of the Women's Advisory Board at a very young stage in my public advocacy work, and there she was, right? We have the young business person, the lone male in the group this year, Mr. Don Davis. I don't know him personally, but I know of his work. He's also happened to be a member of one of our fraternal organizations. In fact, they call it our brother, the first family. He's an Alpha Phi Alpha man. His philanthropy, his caring and sharing through his many businesses. And so these are people who stand as beacons. We have, I don't know, Randy, maybe you could take the next two. They stand as beacons in our communities. And you know what I liked, as I mentioned their name somewhere, somebody said, you know what I like? They're not persons, they're persons who are known, whose work speak for them, but they're not persons who have been in the limelight over and repeatedly or saturated with awards.
And then that's why I drew into what was said, because when you sent Mavis, you sent me the pictures, because that's what we do here on the show. We want to talk about things and people and places and angles that is not a part of the regular day-to-day narrative. But we need to expand our minds here in the Bahamas.
Yeah. And you know these people have made contributions, because when people say, oh yeah, that's right, when you read their bios, when people hear about, oh yes, they know, instinctively that, yeah, these are persons who are doing, but of course they are still shining their light. It's not under a bushel, and they are shining their light, and they are continuously going on and moving on no matter what. We have people like Shawn Turnquest, who for many years helped to build Queen's College to what it is now today. She was first teacher, then she was vice, and then she ended up as head of the high school. She was also a former student there. Yep. And so she has helped in the area of education, definitely in advancing education for the Eastern area, and for, again, like I say, for the country. I've educated hundreds, I'd say thousands of students who have gone through the Queen's College and other areas, other schools as well. She has been able to touch them. And then in sports, of course, Shonel, Ferguson, one of our, what we say, our Carifta, from Carifta time. I remember the first time my memory of her was seeing that video of her. I think it was Carifta, and she was doing the triple jump, and everybody, wow, she was flying. She was flying. She almost went out of the pit. Everybody, it was so amazing. And not only has she made her impact in sports, but we know she was also in the political arena, and she has been able to give back to her country in the numerous ways as well.
Cool. So how does the gala continue to the tradition in the Bahamas context of the AKA, which deals with emphasis on service and scholarship and sisterhood and service, etc., as we mentioned? How does this gala that you all are having continue that tradition?
Well, of course, it is the first, the premier event, and of course, we hope to continue it. It's not just going to be a one-time thing. You know, a lot of times people say, "Oh, it's just that one and done." No, this is going to be. We have plans to continue it biannually, so every 2 years we will make sure that we again keep up that tradition of advancing and of highlighting persons who live within our area, and to let others know and to give them their roses, as they say,
Right.
give them their roses while they can still smell them. And so that is one of the things that we are, we really want to ensure that we are able to do. Uh, and we, with Island Jewels and with Alpha Kappa Alpha, our motto is, of course, service. And so we want to continue on providing service to the community. The funds that will be raised from this event, of course, will go to continue programs that we have within the community. We have a feeding program with the Cleveland Indian School, where we provide lunch packs or meal packets for some of the needy students who are there. We also have a reading program with the school as well, where we go in and we read to the children. We have a youth leadership institute where now these are for the younger ones. That's the primary school, and then we deal with the junior high age. So we deal with children all ages.
Right.
The junior high, we deal with the leadership, because again, we know that if we're able to catch them when they are at that formative years, we will be able to again influence them and make sure that they are able to be contributors, vital contributors, make contributions to the development and to be leaders within our community. And I think we have a group of about 25, and it's growing with the amount of persons that we have in that group. And most of them are from the eastern area, the young people. We also work with the elderly in the area. We've visited some of the old folks' homes and the geriatrics hospital that are there, providing what we call winter wear and Christmas cheer. And so we're looking to do that right now, and providing scarves, and we provide the blankets and, the warm clothing, those types of things, and also giving them a little bit of cheer during the Christmas time, singing songs, carols,
Right,
that
right.
type of thing. So those are some of the things that we do within that area, where we, again, are making that difference, trying to make that difference, and making that we can make the positive changes for the community.
Yeah, so Mavis, you all mentioned timeless in the statements, and so what
Just
makes
before, yeah, I just wanted to add some. I wanted to mention that if you follow the sorority, you'll find that even though our administrations change every 4 years, and the new international president will come in with their emphasis, you rightly noted that the program's initiative always focus on key areas: education and scholarship, empowering families, whether that's empowering them financially, empowering them socially, ensuring that they are aware, advocating for social justice, whether that is ensuring that persons understand their voting process, or they understand the importance of voting, helping to get persons registered. And then another major part is looking at the health of our members, as well as the health of the communities that we serve, with emphasis these days on mental health awareness and enhancement. And so you ask, okay, how does what we do, or how does what we are doing this weekend line up with what our
Right.
mandate is. And so by shining the spotlight on persons who have served, who continue to serve, we're uplifting the community. Because I can assure you that as this program takes off and continues to grow and build, our goal and aim is that it becomes a program that persons east of Camp Road begin to look forward to on their calendar. And so you help people, you a sense of pride in self, pride in communities, pride in the work that you do. And there's a piece in your quote that talks about caring for. And so as you lift up somebody, as you shine a light on them, and if you're doing it for the right reason, and if they are as deserving as we say they are, that's not going to stop their work. It propels them, it encourages them, it almost becomes a push for them to do more. And so by doing what we are doing this weekend, we are saying, hey, this is what good citizenship is all about. This is what good stewardship is all about. This is what giving back looks like. Let's get on and let's continue to give back.
I'm sure
timeless, I think timeless because, hey, these people, they're not going to stop today, and their contributions that have been made already are etched in the minds and hearts and soul of so many that they've touched, that their contribution is indeed timeless.
Cool. And so I'm sure you all teach the young people the value of why you do what you do, right? So that they could continue it and be more sustainable.
Absolutely. You have to play it forward. You have to play it forward. Somebody does for me today, I'm expected to do for somebody today and tomorrow. And when you can find value outside of what you do for yourself, I don't think there's anything more worthwhile. The feeling that you get from that, I don't think you can duplicate that. You can find that elsewhere, to know that, hey, what I am doing is making a difference in the life, especially of young people. If you walk these streets and you drive our streets and you see what you see, if you are not moved to want to do something,
right,
then you have a hard heart.
Yeah, well, let's focus on me.
I just wanted to, to also follow up with what Mavis has said. We always look, or at least me, I look at the quote by the late Shirley Chisholm, who says that service is the rent we pay for the privilege of living on this earth.
Right.
And so it is a privilege for us. We take it as a privilege that we are able to give assistance to persons, and especially our young people, and letting them know that, hey, this is what you have to do too. It's not that you're just here just so. You need to be able to make a difference in the lives of others as well. And you matter. It is important that they know that they matter. They matter. They are important. Because without them, we do not have that future. So we want to make sure
and I always say that, you know what you're doing is your purpose when you're at peace with yourself. And like Mavis said, it moves you because that's when you align with that good fellow who running around somewhere up there and, who all over and so forth. You know who we talk about, right? That's
Big
the
Daddy.
main man. Yeah. So each of these 7 honorees from Doc straight down to Miss Carey, the health and humanitarian, etc. How does their work, what represents a pillar of society, what represents, or what thread connects them all in all of their works? You all highlighted some health, humanitarian work, business.
So the areas that we are highlighting them in, but it's all services to connect.
What they do, the contributions.
Yes.
Service is the thread. As we outlined a minute ago there, for example, you have Arlene Nash her contribution
sacrificial
was
service.
primarily
Yes.
in
Yes.
in the culture. I mean, she's an educator in her own rights, but
Right.
Yeah.
her
And a
primary
stellar one too. Yeah.
right has been for education, selfless.
Giving back to the community, helping to build our community. I would say all of these persons have given their time and their efforts
Can you hear me?
selflessly. We hear
Yeah,
you now.
now.
Yeah. Yeah, you were in that.
I was saying
But they've
education
given selflessly of themselves.
selflessly, correct. So even though she's taken off into a business aspect of it, her contribution on Bay Street and training and guiding. I remember doing some. Actually, I did. I when I did a television show, I remember going up to her place on her home. She and her husband had turned some of their rooms into a shop. And they were there. They're just working on these costumes and working on banners and working on everything Junkanoo, right? Then you have the Shonel Ferguson, who comes to us from the sports and athletics arena. One of the first to carry that flag, right? And at the Olympics and to bring back medals and to continue to represent the nation around the world. A young girl from Fox Hill, right? Young gal from Fox Hill,
Yeah.
running humble beginnings, as humble as they can be, actually, right? Has made an indelible contribution. Went on to serve in public life as a member of parliament. So she sat in the parliament, but her recognition is not for that service, but for being a light for other young people in the sporting arena, where she would have ignited a fire to become a jumper. Who thought by jumping you could garner such attention and do so much in Fox Hill, right? And so that is her claim to fame. Again, persons giving at a time when it was popular to serve, but not popular to do it for recognition, if that makes sense. You serve because it's what you wanted to do. You were passionate about it. You were
Or
not
what you were
looking
told to do.
for what you were not looking to. Your parents instilled
Right.
in you that attitude of service. And of course, when I think of Kenris Carey, I mean, a woman ahead of her time. I guess is the way we would say that, eh? And the same with Sabrina Pinder. I've known Sabrina. I've worked in Baptist all my life, and so I have known Sabrina as a staunch disciplinarian when it came to the work of the Lord. She was chaperone to me and others when we traveled to represent the Baptists as a younger lady at the time. And she continued in the work of the Lord, married that pastor, continued to work beside him, and now she leads that church. But she's somebody who's been the president of the Baptist convention, women's convention, locally as well as regionally. And so she has made an indelible mark, or left, she'll be leaving an indelible mark on the hearts of Baptists regionally and around the world. And of course, on the life and culture of the Fox Hill community, that Roma Street area. And listen, while she did that, she raised outstanding children who are making a contribution in their
They've been
own
in QCA.
to our country, right? I hope I don't want us to be leaving out anybody, Wendy. Even on the
No.
we touched Carey, Pinder, and
Oh,
Shawn. My first introduction to Shawn Turnquest. She was with Academia, I think it was. I think it was Academia. And I was covering something while working at ZNS, I think it was. And so we covered, I think, the opening. And so she gave service to those students who were vulnerable those students who needed that extra help and that focused attention so that they had the opportunity to strive even before she went to the larger, more commercial level. But even at QC, she has been there for many years, as Wendy said, providing guidance to young people. And like I've talked about Sandra Patterson already. I don't know, we cannot say too much about her because, like I say, Sandra has been in the trenches, working the
advocating
midnight
not only for
oil,
women but for children as well. I think that is
absolutely,
important too.
manning the telephone lines,
The crisis center.
all
My
hours
goodness,
of
that
the
has been
night.
such the crisis center alone has made such an impact for you would say women and for girls, but also we have men who
Yep,
also
I
feel
was
they're
about
not
to say
go
that.
to the
Yeah.
No longer
crisis
part
center
of the
as
Women's
well,
Crisis Center.
So
It's just the Bahamas Crisis Center.
yes,
Cool.
she has made that impact.
So many of these honorees have mentored others, built platforms that reach beyond their field. How do you see their light extending in the next generation?
Well, we already see it. Hey, we know the impact of like people like the Arlene, Nash, Ferguson. When we see how many women there are now in Jokkanu,
Yeah,
you
that
know,
is true too.
because they say, well, hey, I see her doing it. I know I could do it too. Because at one time, they would, women, no, where you going to pick up any cowbell? Where you think you're going out?
Go and pick up cable.
No.
You couldn't go to Junkanoo.
Oh, okay. You understand? So
Exactly. I know I couldn't go.
or if I used to go, but I went with on my daddy's shoulders in those days, early days, and you thought, oh, you get up at 6 o'clock. Oh, I get up so early and it's dark still, and you're going out to Bay Street. But these types of things where she has been able to break barriers, and we see that continuing on today, where women are now in leadership positions in some of the Junkanoo groups as well. We see, of course, with Kenris Carey, Reverend Dr. Kenris Carey, within the Methodist Church, and not only within the Methodist Church, but within the religious community and within the general community. That's why she's the Humanitarian Award, because of the work and the impact that she has done. She used to be on the, it was where they had for the panel, I think the juvenile panel,
Okay.
and with the commission of with young people as well. So making that impact and making that difference for those persons who were vulnerable, for those who needed that little extra guidance, she was able to, make that push and make the difference in the lives of many young people. And so, again, the contribution, known and unknown, that all of these would have made helps to continue with the development of our country, to make our country better. I cannot say that any one of these, anything that they have done, has done something to bring negativism to the Bahamian community, to the country as a whole. They have all done things that have been positive and that have shone a positive light on our country.
Cool. So their representation then, you would say, has been powerful. So especially for young Bahamians, and particularly young Bahamian girls, seeing particularly the women in leadership, because you talked about that earlier. I mean, we know about men being in leadership. That's always expected in our community, in our culture. But it's the women in leadership, I think, also raises it. Even though you all say that you don't have the same amount of rights as men, but you get more rights than men if you really would count and be honest with yourself. But being in there today. So
I don't want you to go there, because then, you could be disputed, but anyhow, we
yeah,
move on.
I understand that, but the record will show, period. But anyway, so what message do you hope the gala will send to them? All those who are looking up to everybody who's been honored and so forth. What will they be inspired by?
You never know when somebody's watching you.
I
Work
agree with
hard,
that.
work well, work pure. You have a chance.
I always tell that to people. I just told that to our good friend to Wake the other day, the young lad. Just do your best, do more than the people paying you for, because you never know who watching. It might even be the people in the company. It could be somebody else. And they,
And always try to bring somebody along.
right, right,
Succession planning, which we sometimes feel like, you wonder some people if they believe that using the sports metaphor, to pass the baton on,
right,
if they believe they got to keep the baton forever and ever and keep running the race, as opposed to passing it to the next person, to let them now run their turn of the race and give you a break,
right.
but so and I think these persons are ones who have been able to set the example and given the opportunities too for younger people to come up and to learn and to move ahead.
Right.
Because
And
we look
so,
at the Dawn Davis, and I could speak from the experience working at the University of the Bahamas. Quite a number of our students uh, were able to get that job and to be able to assist them financially because they are working in his businesses in the
right,
Quality Home and in the Ashley. They have been able to. He's been able to give them that step up, that leg up, giving them the job, letting them learn about how to, deal with customer service, dealing in the retail area, and helping them to build that confidence when they have to deal with customers. So persons like that, he has been able to give the opportunity for young people as well.
and just for people to know, many of these that you are calling are very humble people, because for Dawn, I've been at Dawn. This show been going on almost 2-3 years now. I've been on him for almost from the beginning. And he wouldn't come on because that's the type of person he seemed to be all the time. That, okay, yeah, he's done the work and what have you and stuff like that, but he don't want to highlight it himself, right? I don't get that impression from him.
No.
So after a while, I just say, okay, when he's ready, he'll decide he can
Yes.
come or whatever, right?
Well, we are so happy and privileged that he is the man among the many of the man among the women.
Yeah, but you
And
can't let that
he's
be
just
just one off now. Y'all gotta
no,
make
no.
sure
Well,
you
this is
happen.
only our first year, man. Happy.
Yeah,
This is only
yeah,
the
yeah.
first time we having it. We're gonna be doing it again, and so of course we will have there are many out there, and so of course we are going to have those others highlighted when we have the next one. This is only our first one, first of
Yes.
many.
So what has been the responses from the public and the school children and so forward about seeing these persons honored? Particularly you mentioned Foxville. 2 of them are from the Foxville area in particular, I guess, and service a lot and what have you. Actually 3 maybe now, if you want to call Dawn Business, might be considered in Foxville on Prince Charles. That's about. But anyway, the bottom line is what are people saying about it? And the people you honor, and I shall talk about them. What do they say? Because we tend to like to talk about the politicians and the ones who we see and hear all the time, or in the school books and stuff, but not what I call the regular hard workers.
We've gotten excellent feedback from the public. The support. We probably have about 8 tickets left for the event. I repeat what I said earlier. I think people like the freshness of the faces that are being recognized, but not because these persons are deserving, not just because they're fresh, but they're fresh and they're, oh, wow, yes, well deserved. For every time we call a name to somebody, well deserved. They've done some work. They've done a lot of trailblazing work that we've probably not thought about some of in the case of Mr. Davis, he's not as old as the rest of them, but I think he came out of the gate really back and down, and so he has been able to lead in business in areas that were not as to go in previously, or to certainly take the kind of lead that he's taken and that are succeeding, okay, and has not shied away from assisting. I know even persons have gone to him or gone to his establishment, not necessarily to him, and say, hey, we need assistance for this, we need assistance for that. And it's always been my experience that the response has been positive.
Right.
So, yeah. So the feedback has been really good, and that's why we're able to say we know this will not be the only one we call, and that's why we say it's the inaugural one.
Yes, there you go.
That there is going to be ones to follow because of the feedback. But I want to say thank you publicly to Her Excellency, the Most Honorable Dame Cynthia Pratt. She has regrettably had to cannot attend our function because of a conflict, but she was so enamored and so impressed with what we're doing. She's loaned her patronage to the event, in any event, and she's has sent us an invite to come and visit with her, and so we do a courtesy call with her and our honorees on Thursday morning. And so that again is endorsement that this is something that is supported and recognized as a good thing.
Cool. So as you prepare for the gala, what do you hope your guests and the wider Bahamas will take away from the jewels of the East, timeless treasures? Treasures in the Bahamas.
There are. We didn't realize there were so many jewels in the East, and now this one we may have to look at this next time. But our entertainment we're excited about. They coming from the West, but that's all right. The high school, the government high school band, we are so excited about them.
Yeah.
They are gonna
young people being highlighted.
Yes, and so that's what the guests will take away. Wow, we didn't know that. We didn't realize that. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, and I.
And everybody likes that opportunity to dress up and be fancy and to come out and to celebrate. So, we expect to have a grand time. We're going to have a wonderful time of, highlighting those persons who have given service, to celebrate them and celebrate as well with them as we celebrate our timeless treasures and our jewels from the East. And we're going to have some prizes and surprises as well. So, Mavis said we only have 8 tickets left. Well, I know Happy you can buy at least 2 of them, right? I can see you out there.
I hear you.
But we're gonna have a full house, and we're gonna be at the Warwick Hotel. So we're looking forward to the ambience for the evening. Beautifully decorated. We're gonna see everybody in all of their finery. And again, we're going to celebrate those individuals and honor them for the work that they have done.
The pearls, man, the pearls and things.
Oh, yeah. All of the pearls and jewels and diamonds and everything.
All the treasures.
Cool. The treasures, yeah.
So, on this show, we like to talk about the pause, think about it with intentional thought, and consider where we go from here. So I ask you all this question. If you had to leave one guiding principle for Bahamians, one light to carry forward, what would it be?
Continue to do your best. Continue to help others along the way. as you go along. Don't be too proud to say you need help as well, and to be humble and to be of service to others.
Ooh.
Allow your light to shine no matter the circumstances.
Powerful stuff there, people. See, that's why you gotta associate with these ladies here and the rest of them, right? Yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure to be associated with you too, Happy. I mean, all these years we've known each other. It's always been a pleasure to say that I know someone of your stature and your whole family. I know everybody. I know all your family. All of us were at school together, so it has always been a pleasure.
And all the hidden skeletons.
Man, don't let's talk about all of them.
Don't talk about them.
I wasn't so honored to be at the QCI and the Blue Wave, so I only know keep hearing that. If it ain't the red machine, it's QC. Poor Blue Waves. Anyway, thank you. Yes, thank you, Dale, for this opportunity. And I don't know if it's available that we can pick it up at some other time and look at it later on.
Yeah, the same link that I sent you all to share. It's gonna be on YouTube and stays there until YouTube takes it down. So share it with all your friends, the young people in particular, so they could learn about people, right? Because a lot of people don't have the mentorship and exposure to programs like what your organization and the rest is involved in. I mean, I'm involved with Lodge and stuff, and we see it all the time. And when we go to meet with people, it's like they're looking at just the first time they ever have somebody talk to them in the way we talk and stuff.
True.
So it's a work in progress.
Well, thank you.
Your piece. You're welcome, and thank you all for coming on and making the show look good. Right? Not this old rough-head fella all the time chopping at somebody and what have you.
Thank you for the change of pace.
There you go. Cool. Awesome.
Okay.
Yes. So, folks, you've been watching Something to Think About with Dale Happy Knows, and we hope that you really got some appreciation out of the show and people in the Bahamas who do things that aren't really sung about a lot, and so forth, and organizations that could help you grow from strength to strength, associate, and learn how you could find a way to put that burning desire that you have in your heart to good use. Because a lot of time it's just that we have the burning desire, but we don't have the machinery. Well, they have the machinery. They're one of those organizations that do so. So do. And those who out there, there's 8 tickets. I'm sure they could make those 8 tickets into 80. So if you want, I should actually give it a leg. What I will do is I'll get the numbers and post it in the chat online, and so you could grab them or you could just find them, because they all over, and there's a lot of flyers going around with numbers on it, and so I'll post one of those flyers. And so if you could call and do what you need to do. So until next time, same bad channel, same bad place. We'll have more provocative conversations, and hopefully you will grow from strength to strength. And enjoy. Peace, love. And everybody down there in Jamaica and Cuba and the Bahamas who's going to get hit, do. Please stay safe. Stay warm. Stay dry as you could. And don't do anything outrageous. That storm ain't playing. Peace out.
Enjoyed the show? Then subscribe to us for more educational and inspirational content. Ring the bell so you never miss a show. Let's change the narrative 242.